What's going on, folks? It's Larry at Packmasters Dog Training. Let's get into dog training talk. I believe this is part 13. This is actually the first time I'm doing this for my new Jeep, by the way, which I love very much. I'm excited about it. We don't buy ourselves a lot of toys very often. But let's talk about what I think is the dumbest thing I've ever done all the years I'm dog training. This was actually pretty stupid, and I don't recommend it to anyone, okay? There was a time where I was only training aggressive dogs. That's all I got called for. Couple of reasons why. I had put out a video several years ago, and it was with a pretty bad human aggressive dog, and it went real well, and it got pretty popular and spread around, and that was one reason. And the other reason was that's what people thought I did. That was my specialty, which it wasn't. It wasn't. So I really didn't get called for anything except aggression cases, and that kind of sucked, and that led me to burn out a little bit, which led me to take a whole year off of dog training. I took a whole year off. I was just fried. It was one shitty dog after another. In this case, when I got the call, it actually gave me a little anxiety before I showed up at the home, and I told my wife if I'm going to get hurt, it's going to be with this dog. And the call just bothered me, the things the owner was saying. So I get a call, Rottweiler owner, and it was a woman, and she told me that their dog is just out of control. They can't handle it. They're an elderly couple. She hates the dog. The husband loves the dog. They fight over it. He won't get rid of it. She wants it gone. They can't watch TV. The dog attacks the TV. She told me things like she would wake up in the middle of the night and the dog would be standing over her growling and showing his teeth. She told me all kinds of stuff that really had me concerned. I really was. And I'm thinking, at that point I was just starting to really get tired of dealing with dogs like that. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to wind up getting hurt with this dog. She had just given me a lot of information that I didn't like. So I show up one Saturday morning down in Nashville at their home. I meet the people. I meet the dog. After talking for a few minutes in the house, I really wanted to get a grasp of what was going on there. I go outside. I start working the dog. And the dog is awesome. There's nothing wrong with this dog. He's a lot of dog. He's too much dog for this couple. They're an elderly couple. And he was awesome. We were buddies from day one, so there was a lot of relief there. So let's paint the picture of what was going on there. She was right about a lot of things. She hated the dog. She did not like the dog. She was scared of the dog. She didn't trust the dog. The husband loved the dog, went everywhere with the dog, was by his side at all times, but he couldn't handle the dog. The dog didn't respect him. The dog loved him, but it didn't respect him, and he had no control over the dog. So they told me their house was on 3 floors, three different floors. So when you walk in the front door, you can go downstairs to the basement where their even elderly mother lived. So this lady was really old, and then 2 floors upstairs. They'd sit upstairs on the 3rd floor to try to watch TV, and they couldn't. The dog would literally get up and attack the TV viciously, and they couldn't stop it. And they had another trainer. The trainer seemed to be a real good guy and was honest with him, told him I can't do anything with this dog anymore, and that's how they got my name. So after we worked outside for a while, I handled the dog, worked with the dog, started some training, said, okay, let's go upstairs and see what's going on here with the TV. So we go upstairs to the TV room, I sit down, and the dog does nothing. He lays down by my feet, just does absolutely nothing. Perfect angel through the whole thing. The owner tried changing channels. He put things on TV like Animals and Discovery Channel where they'd see a lot of movement of animals and animal noises. They tried everything. Nothing. The dog would not act up with me there. Now, mind you, this is the first time I'm handling the dog. I didn't do anything. I didn't implement any corrections or punishment for anything. I just do what I normally do. So, obviously, we weren't going to get him to bark. As soon as I left, they call me, they said the dog's attacking the TV. They were so disgusted, like I don't understand it, So we talked a little bit on the phone, and we set up an appointment for the following week for the 2nd lesson. Well, during that week, the owner calls me and says, I really need you to see this dog in action doing this. And obviously he's not going to do it with you here. So I think what I'd like you to do is when you're coming, you let me know. I'm going to leave the door unlocked. I want you to come in quietly and sneak upstairs and catch him. Think about that statement, guys. Here's a big working line Rottweiler that I've met one time, and this guy wants me to sneak in his house and catch the dog in action. So I said, okay. I said, okay. And I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck did I just agree to? That's so stupid. But I said, okay. So that weekend, I'm on my way down. I tell the guy I'm almost there. I pull up in front of the house, and I could hear the dog. I could hear him upstairs going apeshit. I said, oh my, here we go. I go in the front door real quietly, and it was like in a movie. I'm sneaking in, and the old lady, the very old lady downstairs, peeks her head out from the corner, and she didn't know me, and she's looking at me, and I put my finger up, and I'm like, you know, like I'm about to rob the place, and I'm in a movie, and she just sneaks back in behind the door, and I'm thinking to myself, what am I doing? So I start sneaking up the stairs real quiet, you know? And then all of a sudden, the barking stops, and I hear the dog charging down the stairs. And I go, holy shit, I'm so fucked. And I just stood there. And he comes flying around the stairs, barking and growling. And I literally just stand there and go, hey, what's up? I'm trying to be as cool as a motherfucker as I can be. But inside, I'm like literally shitting my pants, you know? But you got to really play it off. You gotta be Marvin Gaye walking down the streets of Detroit at this point. You have no choice. You know, I got Let's Get It On playing in my head, because I gotta be a cool motherfucker at this point, or else this dog's gonna light my ass up. So I faked it real good, and the dog just checked me out, sniffed, and ran back upstairs. I was like, jeez, all right, that was good. So I went upstairs. I did hear him, but of course once I got there, he was done. Okay. So we continued with the training. We went through the process. I had a very candid conversation with the couple, and I told them, you got to get rid of this dog. Not because it was a bad dog. He was too much dog for him. He just was. He was a very powerful working line dog, and he was awesome. And I told them, I will take the dog. I will work with him, train him, and I will find him the right home. I won't just send him to anyone. Well, there was no way this owner was getting rid of the dog. So we went through a few private sessions, and then I allowed them to come to group class. Back then, I used to do group classes quite often. They were in public places, unfenced places, and the only people that can come to my group class are dogs that have been through my program. And at that time, it was all big, powerful dogs. So when I was working with this dog, I remember those in one group class, we had that Rottweiler, another Rottweiler, we had a Presa Canario, we had an American Bulldog, and we had, what else do we have? Oh, we had another big, powerful dog. I can't even remember now what it was. But we had all kinds of big, serious, powerful dogs that were previously aggressive. And that's how we did our group classes. And a lot of times, by the time we were done, we would have an audience of people watching our group classes, you know? And he came to every group class. The guy did, not the woman. And he'd be the first one there, and when I would pull up, the dog would see me, and he would drag his owner off the bench to get to me. And I would tell him, what are you doing? You can't allow that. He's just happy to see you. I said, I know he's happy to see me, but you can't do that. You got to start controlling this dog in these little situations. He was a great guy. I loved him to death. He loved his dog, but it was obvious that he was never going to listen to me. And until he stopped all these little things, he wasn't ever going to control that dog. So this is what I did. I fired him. I fired him as a dog owner. I kicked him off his own dog. I told his wife, who mind you now is an elderly lady who hated the dog and was scared of him. I told her, you are now this dog's chief. You're in charge of this dog, and you're going to start coming to group classes. She said, yeah, you can kiss my old wrinkly ass. That's exactly what she said to me, and I just laughed. I said, you have to. If he's not going to get rid of this dog, we got to do something here, okay? She agreed. She started coming to group class without him. And you saw a different dog. She did fantastic. And what happened was, in that time, she started bonding with this dog and started appreciating him a lot more. She realized there was nothing to fear. He was actually a great dog. She did fantastic, okay? And the attacking of the TV stopped. It went away completely. I never had to address it. I never had a chance to address it. Here's why, guys. And you can never be exact about these things, but there was so much tension in this home over this dog. There was a lot of fear in the home over this dog. This woman was genuinely scared of the dog. There was constant fighting and battling. And then you have a handler who can't handle this dog. Rottweilers especially are extremely, extremely sensitive dogs. You know, they all feed off of our emotions, guys, but as someone who's raised Rottweilers a long time, they are unbelievably in tune with us, unbelievably sensitive to our feelings, big time, you know. And I don't know why the dog would attack the TV. I just don't know. Is it possible that that's the one time he got attention from her? Maybe. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I'm not going to make no scientific shit up. I don't do that. I don't know why he did it, except that there was a lot of turmoil in the home, a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, a lot of tension, the constant fighting. It's no place for a dog. That dog is going to reflect what's going on in the home all the time. And that's why the relationship I have with my clients is so unbelievably important. If I'm going to get the best results out of the dog, I have to have a tremendous relationship with the owners. It helps a great deal. It really does. Okay? So, that woman went on to be the one always coming to group class and working with that dog. And it wasn't before long before I had her meet me at a park with one other client with another aggressive dog, a pit bull. And now I have two women with two extremely powerful dogs that had all kinds of issues working together in a place with tons of people around. And by the way, back to that group class with all those powerful dogs, it was all women owners. I bet you 70 to 80% of my clients are women. The women in the home are the ones that take the responsibility. And I like that because women listen better. They'll do what you tell them to do. They want to get it right. There's less ego there, and they're just better listeners. Sorry, dudes. It's just the truth, you know? But we went on to have really great success with that dog. Now, later on down the road, they ran into different problems. Had nothing to do with the dog, but there were issues within the home that definitely created some problems. But as far as the dog goes and his behavior, turned around. Absolutely fantastic. No more TV attacking, no more waking up in the middle of the night with him staring at you like he was going to kill you. Things got a lot better as long as she was coming to group class and doing the handling. And this was an elderly woman with a dog that physically was hard for me to handle if he wanted to decide to do anything. And did fantastic, guys, you know. And also, that's also a big part of that was good e-collar training, you know. And no, I don't remember this woman ever having to correct the dog, but the dog was very literate to the e-collar. And what that does, it puts everyone on an equal playing field. So I'm 6'1", 250 pounds. This woman was 80 something years old, 110 pounds. We're able to handle the dog the same because of the knowledge the dog had about that tool. It puts her on an equal playing field with me, okay? Makes things a lot more level because you take all the physical aspects out of it, and it's very, very important, and that's why I'm constantly preaching, and I'll just preach till the day I die about proper e-collar work. It's the most important thing that the average dog owner can implement in the life they have with their dog. That's it. Okay, it's a big help, guys, big help. All right, I'll hit you up later. Peace.